This video is on solving equations, and it's based on the unit review that is put out by the Math Prep and Learning Lab. This first video will be questions 1 through 6, which are about simplifying expressions. So the first thing I want you to realize is the difference between an expression and an equation. This is an expression. This is an equation. Do you see the difference? The numbers are different and there's no parentheses here, but the main difference is this has an equal sign. If it's an equation and has an equal sign, it means you can solve for the variable. On this one, I could solve for x. I could say what x equals. This one is just an expression. I cannot tell you what x equals. X could equal anything. It's a variable, and it depends on what value you would want to plug in there. It's not going to equal anything. So if you're simplifying, you just need to make it simpler. The first thing we want to do when we're simplifying is remove any parentheses. We clear the parentheses. What you're going to do is you're going to distribute. You're going to do -2 times x and -2 times -5. Basically, the coefficient that's in front of the parentheses, this number is going to get multiplied times anything. If there were 5 things in the parentheses, it would get multiplied times all 5. So it's -2 times x, and then -2 times -5. -2 times x is -2x. -2 times -5, I have 2 negatives. So some people just know that 2 negatives in multiplication are a positive. Some people figure it out because 2 negatives is even. That means the answer is going to be positive if there's an even number of negatives in a multiplication division problem. And 2 times 5 is 10. So I just did 2 times x, or -2 times x, -2 times -5. Now, these are not like terms. I cannot combine them. Anything with a variable and a constant cannot be combined. So that's my final answer. On this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I get 7 times -3 plus 7 times t plus t. The 7 doesn't get distributed down there, just to what's in the parentheses. So then I have plus t. 7 times -3 is -21. 7 times t is 7t plus t. Now I have 1, 2, 3 terms. These two are like terms, so I can combine them. The 21 isn't, so it's going to stand off by itself. Then I have 7t and another t. So if I have 7 and another one, altogether I have 8. Some people put a 1 there. If I have 7t and 1t, I add them together and I have 8 t's. On this one, 2 ways to think about it. One is to think that this means opposite. So the opposite of 15 is -15. The opposite of -3 is +3. And that's my answer. The other way some people process this, just think about it, is they say, well, negative could be -1, and then I multiply it times that, and I multiply it times that. So -1 times 15 is -15. -1 times -3 are, well, negative times negative, positive 1 times 3 is 3. So I have the same answer, just a different way to think it through. We have -3 times 2g. Notice it's not -3 times 2 plus g. This is -3 times 2 times g. So with the associative property, you could think about it as instead of having the parentheses here, associative property means I could regroup. And I could do -3 times 2, which is -6 times g. Here I would have distributed. Here I just multiply the number in front of the parentheses times the coefficient of the expression. It was not this, so don't treat it like that. 2 more. I have -12 times the quantity 8 plus 7 minus 3. So I'm going to distribute the -12 to the a and to the 7. So -12 times a is -12a. -12 times 7. Then I still have the -3. It didn't get distributed down there because it was outside of the parentheses. So I have -12a minus 12 times 7 is 84 minus 3. These now are like terms and can be combined. So depending on how you process a subtraction problem, the way I've been showing people lately is to say I have a positive box, I have a negative box. This is a negative 84, so it goes in the negative box. This is a negative 3, so it goes in the negative box. There's nothing in the positive box. So which box has more? The negative, so that's the sign for my answer. How many more are in this box than that box? Well, there's none here. There's 84, 85, 86, 87 here. So the number is going to be 87. And that's my final answer. This last one is 2 times negative k. So 2 times negative k would be negative 2k. Again, some people will process this by thinking of that negative as a negative 1. So I multiply the 2 times, I regroup. The 2 times the negative 1 is negative 2, and that's times k, so it's negative 2k. However you want to process it, you should come up with negative 2k.